Welcome back to 8th Standard Science class. Dear children, we will be moving on to the next lesson, that is lesson 16, light. In this lesson, we will learn about the laws of reflection, then image formation by plane mirrors, regular reflection and diffuse reflection, then about kaleidoscope, then multiple images, then the structure of human eye and also the Braille system. The world is largely known through the senses. The sense of sight is one of the most important sense. What makes things visible? Have you ever thought how do we see the various objects? We can see the world through our eyes, that is our sense of sight. We cannot see anything in darkness, that is when there is no light. Dear children, when light falls upon an object or when light is emitted by an object, our eyes detect that light and hence the object becomes visible to us. What happens when light falls on an object like a mirror? We can see that the mirror changes the direction of light. We had already studied in 7th standard about reflection. What is reflection? When light falls on any plane and polished surface, it changes the direction of light, and this process is what is called as reflection. Next, we will learn about the laws of reflection. Next, we will study the laws of reflection. Let us do an activity to prove the law. Fix a white sheet of paper on a table. Take a comb and close all its openings except one in the middle. You can use a strip of black paper to cover them. Place the comb perpendicular to the white sheet of paper as shown. Now light up the torch. Throw its light through the opening of the comb from one side. Adjust the torch in such a way that you should be able to see the light on the white sheet of paper. Next, place a strip of plain mirror in the path of the light ray. What do you observe? Did the light get reflected? Yes, you can clearly see the reflection of light on the sheet of paper. The light ray which strikes the mirror is the incident ray, and the ray that comes back from the mirror is the reflected ray. Draw a line making an angle of 90 degrees to the line representing the mirror at the point where the incident ray strikes the mirror, and this line is called as the normal. The angle between the normal and the incident ray is called the angle of incident, represented by angle I, and the angle between the normal and the reflected ray is angle of reflection, represented by angle R. Measure these two angles with the help of a protractor. The measure of two angles will be almost be the same. They are approximately equal. This is the first law of reflection. Let us perform an activity to prove the second law of reflection. For that, take a sheet of stiff paper or a chart paper. Let the sheet extend a little beyond the edge of the table as shown. Take a comb and close all the openings except one in the middle using a strip of black paper as shown. Hold the comb perpendicular to the sheet of paper. Throw light from a torch through the opening of the comb from one side. You will see a ray of light along the paper on the other side of the comb. Keeping the comb and the torch steadily, place a strip of a plain mirror in the path of the light ray. You will observe a reflected ray which extends up to the projecting portion of the chart paper. This line represents the normal. Now, cut the projecting portion of the sheet in the middle. Bend that part of the projected portion on which the reflected ray falls. By doing, you will create a plane different for the reflected ray than the plane in which the incident ray and the normal lies. Due to this, now you will not be able to see the reflected ray. Now, bring the paper back to the original position. You will be able to see the reflected ray again. This is because when whole sheet of paper is spread on the table, it represents one plane. The incident ray, the normal, the point of incidence and the reflected ray are all in this plane, but when you bend the paper, you create a plane in which the incident ray and normal lies, but you will not see the reflected ray. And this proves the second law of reflection. That is, the incident ray, the normal, the point of incidence and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane.